Good morning. I'm Cheryl Minot Waters. I'm HM Cragg Sales Manager for the West. I'm joined by Dan Loftus, our Director of National Sales, and Mike Swill, our Technical Sales Coordinator. Just a reminder, everyone will be in mute. If you have questions, please go ahead and put them into chat. Our presenter today is Jay Queen, Eaton's Product Manager for the BladeUPS and FairUPS. He will present the BladeUPS and HM Craig's unique stocking program. Jay, thanks for joining us, and I'm handing off the baton to you.
Thanks, Cheryl. Afternoon, or I guess good morning to our West Coast friends. It's a pleasure to be here today. Big thanks to HM Cragg and Dan for giving me the floor this afternoon or this morning to speak to you all. We wanted to talk about BladeUPS today. The big reason being we've worked out a really unique stocking strategy with HM Cragg, and we think we have a really good value proposition and message to help you move forward, to reach those end users and customers that are looking for their next three-phase solution, and give you some upside about why we think BladeUPS is really an area where we think you can be successful and really grow your business, grow your long-term revenue prospects through BladeUPS' unique value proposition, and give you multiple points of contact with your customers throughout the sales and product lifecycle of their installation. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. BladeUPS is now stocking at HM Cragg. Typically, this has been a drop ship item from our factory in Raleigh, North Carolina. But we've seen a lot of growth and a lot of demand, even though the product's about a little over a decade old. We're starting to see more and more demand and more people buying into the modular message of the product. So we've worked out a unique stocking program at HM Cragg that we'll detail here in just a couple of minutes. But long story short is we're stocking all the critical BladeUPS components at HM Cragg's facilities. And why are we doing this? Because we really believe that because BladeUPS is a quick turn system, that a quick turn three-phase system up to 60 kVA with N+1 redundancy is a very strong position in the marketplace, and being able to deliver it on demand as our customers' needs arise gives us a significant position in the marketplace to really go after the competition and really provide turnkey solutions, while pivoting on a dime to meet our customers' needs. So for those that don't know, BladeUPS is a modular plug-and-play three-phase UPS available at both 208 volt and 400 volt three-phase input. When we say plug and play, that's because the capacity modules, the actual power modules, are built in 12 kW building blocks. And once you install the UPS and wire in the wireway to the input power, the capacity and runtime of the UPS can all be adjusted by purchasing the various modules of the system. And when I say they are plug and play, they are quite literally plug and play. You plug the UPS into the new power module into the shared bus bar in the back of the system. You tighten in screws to the front of the rack enclosure, and you have 12 extra kW of capacity or redundancy installed within a matter of minutes. And it's a unique value proposition that only the BladeUPS offers. When we say that the BladeUPS is the only rapidly available three-phase modular UPS, it's because it is. It's a very unique product, and its uniqueness makes it special. And we're very happy and very proud to say it's one of our most reliable products, and that's why we've worked with HM Cragg to get this stocking position, get this stocking strategy set up, and to roll out this program and show the partners what we're doing, because we think you can be successful with this as well. So what is that stock strategy? What does it look like? So when we sit down and we look at how BladeUPS are typically sold, deployed, and serviced throughout their life cycle, we kind of realize that there's a sweet spot for initial deployments for this 24 kW pre-assembled system. So what does that mean? That means sitting at HM Cragg today are going to be several 24 kW pre-assembled BladeUPS systems, complete in a UPS or in an Eaton S-Series rack that include the 60 kW bus bar. So even though these systems are only initially 24 kW, they already have the built-in capacity to grow up to 60 kW. We'll have both top and bottom entry variants for the design to give you more flexibility, right? Some customers are going to want to drop conduit from the ceiling. Others are going to be, may have a raised floor setup or do a bottom floor setup. which is totally fine. We're going to give, we're giving the partners, the ability and the flexibility to work around these various needs of our end users. So with this 24 kW pre-assembled system, you have the perfect foundation to build all the way up to 60 kW with redundancy. So we're also going to have the 12 kW parallel modules for the BladeUPS. That's going to allow us to grow our capacity and grow the power of the system over time as our customers need it. Right. One of the big drawbacks in a more traditional three-phase design is if we're planning for the future, we have to kind of go ahead and sell all the capacity and runtime up front, even if they don't need it today. And that can generate a gigantic upfront CapEx expense for our customers that they may wish to avoid. And if we can give them the option to save money now and not spend again until they actually need the power capacity, that's what frees up a lot of budget to go pursue other items for our customers. We'll also have a position of the BladeUPS EDMs. Again, if runtime requirements change and they want to embrace a longer runtime application, we can support that out of stock. Just simply put in an order for the BladeUPS EDMs and they're on their way. And the same with the maintenance bypasses. Maintenance bypasses, myself, HM Cragg, any power expert, no matter what the UPS is, we always want to recommend putting a maintenance bypass in, because it's only a matter of time before it's time for a battery replacement, or you want to work on the UPS without dropping your load to do so. So the maintenance bypass module is always a good idea to include on your system, and we'll be looking to have those in stock as well. So why are we doing this now? If BladeUPS has been out and about for the better part of a decade, well, we really think the timing is right. We all understand we're still sorting through the aftermath of an unprecedented 2020 and a pandemic, and because of that and other macroeconomic factors, we strongly believe that our end users, our customers, are going to be more cost conscious now than they've ever been. And giving them the flexibility to plan for the future without paying for it today, that's not just peace of mind, that's peace of wallet. And we really want our customers, to understand that we empathize with their budgetary constraints, and having a system that can grow as they need it is a real way to kind of to bridge that gap between what's in the market and what they need today versus what they're going to need in the future. So because of that, the modular messaging around the BladeUPS has never been stronger, has never been more applicable than it is right now. Budgets are tight because a lot of customers had, 2020 wasn't a great year for a lot of customers' revenue. So a message from a BladeUPS that can save time, that can save money, and has a lower cost of ownership is a real net value add for our users. So what we're going to look at, we're actually going to take a few minutes here, and we're going to go ahead and do a dive into what the total cost of ownership looks like between a BladeUPS and a more traditional three-phase UPS. And we're gonna disprove the notion of this so-called modular tax that seems to have popped up over the years, and we're gonna dispel that right now. And then we're also going to take a look at how and why the BladeUPS is a perfect solution for our partners. Not just from their end user standpoint, but in terms of managing your own business, how the BladeUPS, in terms of having increased margin for our partners and increased revenue and additional revenue streams, is a very attractive option to present to our customers. So without talking too much more about it, without showing you, we're going to dive right into it. So when we look at the traditional three-phase products versus the BladeUPS modular solution, this is kind of where the origin of the modular tax began. When customers are handed their quotations for the two different systems and they see up front, well, your BladeUPS is, $3,000 more expensive. Now, these numbers here are just case study numbers. They're for reference only and are not reflective of any actual pricing. But what is important here is these numbers and the relationship and the percentage differences between the pricing and the ownership, that is real. So again, the numbers here are made up for face value, but the relationship and the percentages and the differences between the two are based off real, actual percentages. So they're looking at this system at 36 kW, and we see the sticker price for just the UPS of the BladeUPS is 27, and the traditional UPS is 24. Well, customers are going to see that and say, well, of course I want the cheaper solution. But immediately right off the bat, you know, we have to start educating our customers to avoid that sticker shock. And when we look at the BladeUPS right off the bat, okay, we have the price of the system, but what comes next? Well, what comes next is installation. And because the BladeUPS is so much simpler to install and deploy, there's less time and therefore less money to get the BladeUPS deployed on site. So after installation costs, which again, that never appears on a quotation, right? We don't go out and quote installation costs because typically we're not performing the installation that can be done by a contractor or someone else. So we see that after the installation costs, our end user has paid more or less the same price for both systems. But as for our partners, what does this mean for you? So we've educated our end user and said, listen, once you get the things installed, you'll have spent pretty much the exact same amount of money for the BladeUPS as you would have the traditional three-phase UPS. However, with the BladeUPS, you get all the added benefits of modularity and redundancy, which you may not necessarily get in three-phase UPS. But for you, the partners, and the reseller, what does that mean? That higher upfront unit price means you're earning even more money because it's a higher upfront sale. The sale for the bill of materials is higher, which means we're taking home more money on the BladeUPS sale than we are on the traditional three-phase system. So I do want to dive in a little bit to this installation cost, because I want to show that, I want you guys to understand that these are not just things we're making up, right? These are based on real world examples and real world research, real world installations that we've observed. So as I mentioned, the pre-configured BladeUPS systems that we're going to be selling and stocking out of HM Cragg save about 50% upfront on the initial installation cost of the system. The single biggest reason is because we're drastically cutting down on our contractor billable hours, right? We've all heard from our customers about the end user and about contractors showing up and having to be on site longer, and tertiary costs that aren't planned for and definitely aren't quoted in the sales cycle by us. So being able to confidently say the BladeUPS is much easier to deploy because there's less contractor hours, there's less packaging. Again, because this is a pre-assembled system, we're shipping it out the door 95% assembled. So there's less cardboard, there's less styrofoam, there's less plastic wrap, there's less pallets. In general, there's less dunnage to remove from the site once the system is installed and deployed. Again, that's more time, material, and cost. Same with wires and conduit. Because there's less to install, there's less material for a contractor to have to source and bill separately. So removing the excess waste and getting rid of all the cost of the installation, it provides a more timelier solution, and we can confidently say we're saving 50% on our installation costs. But that's just up front, right? That's just between when we sold the UPS and it's arrived at the customer site and we've powered on the unit and we started it up and it's running. What is this TCO situation? What does this look like 5 years and beyond when we start getting into the real meat and potatoes of the UPS's life cycle, and we're starting to look at that first battery replacement, and we're starting to look at that, maybe planned or even unplanned capacity upgrade because our customers' needs have changed? Well, when we look at that, that's when we start getting some very compelling data about why the BladeUPS is the most cost-effective solution for our end users. So as we can see right off the bat, the TCO after 5 years for a BladeUPS versus a traditional three-phase UPS with a capacity upgrade and with a battery refreshment in that 5 years can save our customers over $15,000 over those 5 years. That is a staggering number to think about, being able to say that to your customer. I can save you thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars in the first 5 years of your solution just by going for the BladeUPS because you're already set up to grow. More importantly, and let's say our customers aren't going to, they're not going to have their capacity upgrade. They've sourced exactly what they needed and their needs haven't changed. Well, we can see that even without the capacity upgrade, because the BladeUPS batteries, internal batteries, can be replaced by the end user, but more importantly, provided as a service by our partners, again, and we're going to get into those additional revenue streams. This is a big one. Since our partners can provide that service to their end users, we're still going to be able to save 10% on the BladeUPS versus the monolithic traditional UPS. And the big reason for that is with the traditional three-phase UPS, and I'm going to tout even the great Eaton 93 PM, which is a fantastic UPS. When it comes time to do a battery refresh, Eaton has to send a CSC out to do it. And it is much, much more expensive to do so, to send the personnel out on site to upgrade the system. And if we look at the cost of doing a capacity upgrade on the traditional three-phase UPS versus the BladeUPS, that can be quite a gargantuan effort in the field. It can cost almost double what it would cost to add the capacity to a BladeUPS. So we have huge cost savings long term with our customers, both with capacity upgrades and without. But more importantly, because the BladeUPS batteries are self-serviceable, self-refreshable, and the partner can provide that as a service, and what we'll say the enterprising partner can provide that as a service, that's a new revenue opportunity to perform that modular battery refresh. So after 5 years, the modular solution is much, much cheaper. There's no comparison between the two systems. The BladeUPS is absolutely the best solution to deploy at 60 kW and below for our end users and for our partners looking to grow their revenue and their margin. So speaking of margin, right, that's what we're really here about on the business side, right? It's not what we sell, it's not how much we sell, but it's what we keep. It's what we keep in our business to reinvest in our business and to continue to grow our business. And we like to think that BladeUPS is a very key part of helping you grow that revenue because of its unique modular value proposition. So I want to take a quick look at what that means, right? So we've already established that the lower TCO and educating our customers about this 5-year life cycle really kind of eliminates that sticker shock over selling these more expensive three-phase systems. And that 10% lower TCO without the capacity upgrade, that's a message that's going to hit home across the board. But what's most important for you, the partners, is that the BladeUPS, because of its higher upfront price due to its modular componentry, but its opportunity for additional revenue means that a partner selling BladeUPS makes over 140% more margin with BladeUPS than a traditional three-phase UPS. To go beyond that, it sets the stage for more lucrative revenue opportunities, right? And it allows us to kind of exist and grow more with the rest of the Eaton product catalog. You know, BladeUPS in general complements our entire market offerings, whether it's racks, UPSs, distribution with PDUs, software, environmental probes, the works. The BladeUPS is set to work with all of these things and give you multiple contact points over that 5-year life cycle to reach out and work with our customers on growing out their infrastructure. I can't stress enough how nice it is at year 3, 4, or 5 when you start, depending on the environment, when you start going out and talk to your customers about doing a battery refresh, to have that contact point. Because when you're there, you're talking about refreshing their batteries and you're telling them, hey, we can do this for you. We can help you do this. And you're going to save a bunch of money working with us to get your batteries refreshed. And then you can start talking to them, do you need more capacity? How else, where are you lacking elsewhere in your power infrastructure? These extra touch points the BladeUPS gives you to interact with your customers can only lead to better relationships and hopefully more sales opportunities for our partners. And we really believe that's kind of a hidden benefit of the BladeUPS and of modular systems in general that can really, help grow your customer relationships over time. So, like I said, I want to dive into the margin just a little bit more. And I think the key takeaway here is more margin, more revenue when we sell BladeUPS versus when we're selling a traditional three-phase system. So as I mentioned, because the BladeUPS is more expensive up front, even though the cost after installation is the same, the actual price of the UPS is more expensive. That's more take-home revenue for our partners because you can do the battery replacements for your end customers without having a technician on site from Eaton That's additional revenue. That's a more margin built into your product. Same with the capacity upgrade. You can just order the 12 kW parallel modules that we'll have in stock at HM Cragg, have them on site and show up with your customers and help them install it. Again, it's another contact point. It's another revenue opportunity that you can realize and continue to grow out that margin over the 5 years, the first 5 years of that product. Very few products in the power quality space have the ability to offer these many contact points and this many additional revenue streams and options that the BladeUPS has. So when we say you can realize 140% more margin with the BladeUPS, we mean it. It is possible and you can do it. And we want you to do it. And that's why we're setting up the stock program so you can go out there and be successful with it. So the traditional three-phase UPS, as I've already mentioned, it kind of leaves our resellers and it leaves our partners behind, right? It leaves us in a position where we sold the unit and I can help you get in touch with Eaton to send someone out, but you're not getting those contact points. You're not getting the replacement battery revenue because that's going to go through the service division of Eaton. You may get you'll get some revenue on a capacity upgrade, true, but the going out and doing it yourself and saving more of that margin for you isn't going to happen because we have to have one of our CSCs on site to do it. So these revenues, as we've discovered, are typically only seen by contractors and the manufacturers supporting those traditional three-phase UPSs. So they're not sales channel friendly through our partners and through HM Cragg. What we want you to focus on, and what I think the real message here is, on these reseller services, going out there, getting in front of your customer, giving them those self-service battery replacements, educating your customer on them, getting that revenue for yourself, increasing your sales margin and keeping that take-home revenue so you can continue to grow your business and be the power expert for your customer. Like I said, it's extra revenue, and I want you all to go out and be successful and be our enterprising partners, not just going out and selling our UPSs, but going out and championing why you believe the extra margin, the extra revenue is justified because you're working and talking to your customers throughout this UPS's life cycle. It's a fantastic product to kind of to be your entry-level three-phase offering because it's so configurable, it's so deployable, and at the end of the day, it's much cheaper to deploy and maintain. And that's our real message here, is it's cheaper and better to maintain and deploy for all of our end users, and it's much friendlier to sell to our partners. So just to wrap up, I want to just in review, a summary, if you will, summarize the last few benefits on the partner. Some of this will be reviewed. We've touched on quite a bit, but just to kind of bring it all home, the pre-configured BladeUPS is going to allow you to save time and space on your installations. We can get most of these systems, if they aren't in stock at HM Cragg, we can get them out from our factory within 6 days. So our job is to keep most of these, and our aim is to keep the majority of these components in stock at HM Cragg. Obviously, sometimes demand peaks, but we can still get most of these systems out within 6 days if they're not in stock. But we've seen in our trial stocking program that we trialed out in Q4, we had no issues keeping any product in stock. I think we did very well managing that, and we will continue to do so as this system as this stocking program expands with HM Cragg. Most importantly, minimal installation time and effort to get this product deployed. We're saving our customers time and money, and we can all use more time and money in our day-to-day business lives. The BladeUPS is an easy path to other Eaton product sales, whether it's our rack PDUs or our next generation high density PDUs that are rolling out throughout this year. You know, we have other BladeUPS accessories like the RPM, which is the rack power module, which allows you to get power from the BladeUPS to the rack or to even other racks adjacent to the install using a combination of the RPM and PDUs. It's a very nice, clean solution. We're allowing our customers to do more with their IT space, right? The BladeUPS, because it's self-contained in a rack, you can have power and IT equipment in one rack. And we know use space is always at a premium in our enclosures. And if we can save use space and save floor space, we're making all of our customers happy so they have more room for their actual business and IT critical equipment. Capacity and runtime upgrades, as we have talked about, are all end user installable, and they're profitable for our partners because we have that touch point. We can go out and provide this value added service to our customers. So with that being said, right on 25 minutes, right where we wanted to be. I know that's a lot. I believe Dan, we're going to make all of these slides available after the fact, but we've got 5 minutes for questions until we wrap up. So if you have them, I've got the chat open. If you have any questions for HM Cragg or for myself about the BladeUPS and about the stocking program, we are happy to have them now.
All right, perfect timing, Jay. I'm going to go ahead and unmute all the participants. So if you have a question that you want to ask, go ahead and unmute yourself.
So Jay, is there good competitive information available on the BladeUPS versus, other competitors' similar product?
So that's a good question, and I'm going to answer this in two parts, yes and no. As I mentioned, BladeUPS is unique, and it doesn't. Well, we don't have a natural competitor because the three-phase modular space doesn't really exist so much. The BladeUPS is a unique product because we're the only plug-and-play three-phase UPS out there that can be stuffed into an IT rack. So our closest competitors are things that you would expect, like a Symetra or a Galaxy unit. So we do have competitive information out there. If you get stuck in a situation where you need a competitive cross-reference, I do have materials available, and I am happy if you request them through HM Cragg, we will get them to you. But it's one of those things where a traditional battle card doesn't really help us because we don't have a one-to-one comparison to go to bat against, if that makes sense.
Thanks. And then I've got one more question that I get asked a lot. Can BladeUPS be installed in a non-Eaton enclosure?
Oh, absolutely. 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 So if I didn't make it clear, I apologize. The pre-configured systems do come in an Eaton enclosure, but because HM Cragg will have all the other bits and pieces, you'll be able to build out a BladeUPS system using, and if HM Cragg, they understand their engineering staff and their sales teams intimately understand the BladeUPS and how to configure it. And if you have those questions and need to configure a system, they can help you do that if a customer has an existing IT rack they want to put it in. And if you can get in, and if you want to be 100% sure, you can let us know what rack, and we'll even vet and validate to make 100% sure that the BladeUPS will fit in that enclosure.
Do we have any additional questions?
Hi, Jay. This is Jill with Palermo Power. How are you?
Hi, Jill. I'm doing well, thanks.
Good. Hey, I am interested in learning more of the technical aspects of the BladeUPS. I want to have a full understanding of how everything works. I mean, I understand, modular and things of that nature, but I want to be able to figure out which customers would benefit from this most, and more of the technical side. Teach me how to build it on my own, and teach me how to scale it up, or what is good and what is bad, that kind of stuff.
Sure. So I would recommend, and it sounds like we've been generating a lot of interest as we've been going through these. So I can do one of two things right off the bat. One, I would highly, highly recommend you take a look at the website, eaton.com/BladeUPS. And I think I can type this into the chat here. So I would say start there, right? And then if you want to get in touch with Cheryl, I am happy to set up a one-on-one half-hour training, go through the more technical aspects. I am more than willing, and I think Cheryl will vouch for me, that I'm always available for our partners to go through this stuff, because it is a lot to digest, and more knowledge for you guys is only going to make you, more potent in the field. So I would say take a look at the website. There's a ton of good information on the resources tab for the BladeUPS. And if we want to set something up, let's run it through Cheryl. Cheryl, I'm sure you'd be happy with that. I don't want to speak for you.
Yep, we can get something set up.
Okay, that would be awesome. And you may have addressed it, and I apologize if I missed it, but will these units ever be coming out in a 480 volt?
So this unit will not be available in a 480 volt. there's a lot of reasons for that. You know, we do have the 400 volt options, but when we look at the 480 volt and we look at running 480 volts directly into the rack, we start getting breaker and sizing and distribution questions that the BladeUPS isn't equipped to answer. So that's why, and we don't even see a 480 volt. There is not a 480 volt rack mountable system out there and now for next generation stuff. Who knows? We have a team of crack engineers working on things all the time. So maybe in 2 years I'll have a totally different message for you.
Fair enough. We got the 93 PM now, so I'll wait for the BladeUPS.
Fair enough.
Awesome. Thank you, Jay.
Sure thing.
Any additional questions? If not, I'm going to thank Jay for sharing your BladeUPS message with us today, and to all the attendees, thanks for taking the time to join us. And everybody have a great day.